up. Several riders literally shoulder to shoulder. Was that Deegan? Who is that was down? I couldn't quite get the number. It's definitely one of the monster Yamaha Star Racing machines. Cody Schock, privateer. FXR, Muck-Off, Club MX, Yamaha in the lead, and one of his teammates is there with him.
What a shock. No, that wasn't...
That's Dax Bennett.
Dax Bennett, yeah. Hayden's in like 5th or something, but yeah, that was a crazy... I think Tom Vial got hit by somebody, and they went right in the left-handed corner, and that never ends up good, but... Is that all 3?
Is that all 3 Club MX bikes?
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. They get some help from Yamaha, but not the full factory parts, and they pulled 3 starts against the fastest bikes in the game. Mark Finnis, a good one, and Chet Reynolds.
Yeah, great start. Looks like is that 16 Tom Vial. Last couple weekends, he's been struggling the first motos, and he's been better in the second moto, so hopefully Tom can get something going, because I don't know what happened. He lost a toe. He was pretty close to Hayden, and he lost a toe, and then he finished like 9th. But as you can tell, Tom's feeling aggressive, feeling good. He makes his way around Cody.
Oh, he needs to bounce back from that first moto. Vial, who obviously would fancy himself as a title contender after winning the 250 Supercross Championship earlier this year. Subpar first moto, just barely in the top 10. Looking to win this one as he deals with the Club MX trio. Schock, his first career hole shot. Chet Reynolds, Mark Finnis, a rookie, also in this fight.
That's a perfect opportunity for Tom, because he has been fast the last few weekends in the second moto, but he's been down, and he hasn't had the best of start, so he's been having to put a lot of pressure on him. But they look like they fixed up some parts of the racetrack that's making it better for these guys, but Tom Vial needs to make it happen right now. Here we go.
This is the collision off the start.
Look here. So the guys on the inside are going left, and yeah, Tom Vial gets into Nick Romano, which gets into Dastin Bennett.
Oh, Bennett got run over.
Yeah, and it looks like he's stuck. Yeah, he was stuck underneath there, so glad to see him get up.
You hate to see that, and obviously these bikes are hot. They got some sharp metal parts, and they weigh about 220-some pounds. You don't like seeing them laying on top of people.
No.
Master pull.
Good. See, Ty, he got around. Was that Jet Reynolds?
Yep.
Yep, Jet Reynolds and Mark Finnis. And nice to see him out here. He's
leading.
Rookies leading it and not being hounded by Tom. Tom's pulling away from everybody else. But again, as I mentioned, you got Hayden Deegan farther back. I wonder, did Hayden go down that first lap?
Okay, so Deegan is having to work his way forward again, battling, I think, with one of his teammates here. He's even further back than he was in the first moto, 18th.
Yeah, that first moto, he just got a bad start, but I saw Hayden. He was around 5th that first lap as things were going, so he must have had some trouble somewhere. Let's see where he's on it.
So here's Deegan, on the ground.
Okay, there we go, because, yeah, he was a lot farther up, and, again, now, Tom Vial, you've got to seize the moment, because if you somehow allow Hayden Deegan to come back at this race, then I'm going to say it's over, but it's going to be difficult to beat him. But Hayden just got to remember he's got a 24-point lead or 25-point lead coming into this, 24-point lead coming in. So he's just got to be smart, make sure he stays up. And I think as the day goes on, as this season's been going on, Hayden's been very smart at doing that. But right now it's an opportunity to make a bunch of passes while everybody's together and not try to make another mistake.
And he's doing it right now. Oh, he tried to get his teammate Romano. What happened there?
Well, yeah, he just made another mistake. He jumped a little low. Just got stuck in the rut. Here's the battle for the lead.
So Finnis, who just turned 19, first full professional season, and dealing with a 2-time world champ, a Supercross champ this year, Tom Vial for the lead. Rider out of Indiana. This is a spectacular run for him.
Yeah, great ride. I mean, this is a great experience for the young rider. He's going to figure it out. As you said, Tom Vial wants to get to the front, and for him, he knows he's been strong in the second moto. His biggest problem, he's been behind Hayden, so he's got to take that chance. Now he gets to dictate it. Let's see if he goes up front. It'd be important for Tom to get around him and try to set sail.
He's fighting him off.
Yeah.
Not intimidated.
Not intimidated. Squared up. There it is. And see if he can jump this double. Nice move by Tom.
So Vial to the lead, and look at Finnis trying to come back. And I feel like for this Club MX team, that's the statement they've been trying to make for a while. We can build fast motorcycles. We can battle with anybody. And Finnis is doing it.
Yeah, they proved that fact, and they are battling with anybody. So great fight from the youngster. You got Tom Masterpool right behind him as we're looking on the battle box. Hayden Deegan's now up to 13th, makes his way around another rider.
Now remember, Deegan came from around this spot in Moto 1, 14th officially on lap 1. Took him 3 laps now to get into 13th. Can he do this again and put 2 incredible comeback rides together? And he's making moves quickly.
Yeah, he's making moves, and in Hayden's mind, there's no reason he can't. You know he's feeling really confident because he's done it a couple times this year. So, and it'd be hard, if Tom stays with the same pace, it'd be hard for Hayden to catch him, considering how good Tom has been in these second motos. But man, all these guys in the danger zone if he gets go. Well, that was a close one. JT?
Well, I think it's really interesting and really important for Tom Vial to have a strong second moto here because he needs to do some damage control in the points. Now think about what the next race is. It's at the Wick, arguably Tom Vial's best racetrack and also arguably Hayden Deegan's worst racetrack. So the points going in there will be critical. If Tom Vial could win this race, recoup some of those points, go in and have a great sandy race at the Wick, and Hayden Deegan maybe struggles, this championship tightens up a lot. But the big thing here is Tom Vial needs to keep it close going into that so he has the best opportunity possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. 100% agree, JT, as Hayden gets up the inside. Another Club MX Yamaha rider. I think the biggest thing, even outside of points, is just the mindset. I mean, Hayden Deegan's rolling in like with so much confidence. You hear it in his voice, and he should be that way. So going into this 2-week break, no better way to go into it if you're Tom Vial than at least getting a moto victory. And that way you can at least have Hayden think about something. But if he's able to come back and beat you, it's going to be tough.
The only thing Hayden's thinking about right now is more passes. He has Levi Kitchen right in front of him, Ryder DiFrancesco behind him. And Kitchen started the year battling with Deegan for moto wins. It has tailed off a bit for Kitchen lately, and now they are battling for 8th. I want to show you event points. What that is today's overall. And if you take the championship points scored in both races combined, it would be Ty Masterpool, who is 3rd right now with a 2-3. He would have his first ever overall victory, but a lot of racing left. Deegan needs to progress 5 more championship points in this moto to overcome Masterpool for the overall.
Yeah, and where Hayden is, each position's 1 point, so that means he's going to have to pass about 5 riders to get to it. And now as they get up closer to the top, you're going to have a lot of guys like Levi Kitchen, guys going faster. And as I say that, looks like Hayden's trying to get on the inside of Levi.
No, he's got Savachi as well. Yeah, Levi. Yep. Savachi right ahead. He just made the move on Kitchen.
Yep, got around Levi.
Wow.
And then he's going to set his sights after Joey, and he knows right now is the best time to make these passes.
Australian Ace, bring the pride.
I think, again, Hayden knows he's in shape. He feels confidence, and these guys know as well. They can hear that Yamaha.
And wait a minute. Vial is no longer leading. See if we have this. Mark Finnis back to the lead. Here's Vial in orange.
Let's see what happens with Tom. Everything looks good here. Oh, that's that hard soil underneath. He gets in there. There's probably some loose stuff on there and lost both front ends. That's a bummer for Tom because he had this thing pretty good.
And now Masterpool going for the lead on Finnis. And remember, this would be huge to try to win today's overall as well.
Absolutely. And Matt, Ty was right there in that first moto, so you know he's feeling pretty confident, and he wants to get Mitch Payton that 100 or 300th win.
That's right.
Yeah, Mitch is up there. Nice pass for the lead for Ty.
So Masterpool in position to win the moto and maybe the overall. Let's send it to Katie.
Of course, this would be huge. He was debriefing with Mitch Payton after that last moto. I went up to Mitch and asked what they were talking about. He said, well, actually a little bit in the moto, it almost looked like he could have pushed a little bit more. He had a good ride out there. He was excited about it, but he needed to keep the intensity up. So that was the feedback Mitch Payton gave Ty Masterpool after that last moto. We have to hang on here to see if he'll take that advice.
Well, he's going to have to take the advice because he's in the exact same situation. Deegan's 15 seconds behind him. And remember, that first moto, Deegan was 15 seconds behind him. So going to see if you're going to listen to the boss and Mitch Payton. But I agree with him, JT.
Yeah, just to add to Katie's point, I wanted to see his initial reaction when he pulled off the racetrack after Moto 1. It was not the face of a rider who was very excited about almost winning a Moto. It was frustration, it was disappointment, and it was a rider who felt like he should have won, and he's trying to go make up for that right here, right now.
And getting away from Finnis, I don't know what's a bigger story. Masterpool getting a shot with this team at the last minute and trying to win, or Finnis as a privateer running second, or maybe this, Deegan looking to launch another incredible comeback.
Yeah, Hayden's run really good at this point, and looks like Tom Vial's only a few seconds in front of him, and I was looking at the lap times, you even got Chance Hymas running pretty strong in third place, so yeah, Hayden Deegan's going to have to get around all these guys for this overall victory, because Ty right now is your overall winner.
Masterpool trying to get away from Finnis and run and high. Deegan is back here. Vial has picked it up in fourth, by the way, and Chance Hymas is third. Those have become some of the primary title contenders against Deegan. Can he at least get to them and make up more points? And he put a little attitude on it when he got to Hymas in Moto 1.
Yeah, the track's a lot better, so these guys can race, and Hayden rides with attitude, chip on his shoulder. That's why he's up so far, so you know for sure he's motivated to get up to at least Chance, and he can see everybody right in front of him. So I think his biggest goal at this moment is to at least catch Tom Vial and see if he can get around Chance. I don't know if Ty is really on top of his bucket list as far as I have to have it, but he knows he doesn't want anybody to get out, especially those two guys, and Tom Vial and Chance Hymas.
Shimoda on the 30 and Pierce Brown. Shimoda on the Honda HRC bike. Red Bull Troy Lee Designs gas for Brown. Deegan all over them. Send it down to Katie with more on the 30.
Well, I got to tell you, the bike of the 30 looked like a thrash and dash to get it back together. Joe came out, I asked him what was going on. He said, I didn't even know that they were digging too far into it, but the bike was smoking. They were not comfortable with sending him back out on it. They changed over the engine, and it was right there at the very end that Joe was able to hop on the bike and take it to the line.
Yeah, it's definitely some tense moments down there. Shimoda's got to put that out of the mind and hope the bike has been buttoned up perfectly. And Deegan just made another pass. He got around Pierce Brown.
Yeah, you talk about somebody who's smoking, and that's this guy right here. He's on fire. So, yeah, nice pass by Hayden. You can tell he's filling with confidence, and yeah, I know that's tough for Joe, like especially that late in the game to make that change. You can tell like he looks like he's a little timid, and he should be. So hopefully for him, the bike's good. I'm sure Honda did everything right, but he's got another problem, JT.
Well, yeah, just to add to Katie's story there, a lot of times in that situation, Joe's bike was still in working order, but when it overheats like that, you lose all the tolerances. It gets too hot for what they've basically engineered it for. So all the durability in those engine parts is now gone, and they simply don't trust it the way they would have before. So better safe than sorry. He's still in this championship fight, so they had to replace everything.
And he's in a fight now, JT, to try to hold off Deegan, launching another furious charge.
Yeah, it looks like Ty Masterpool, I'm looking at the lap times, he's keeping that gap where it was 15 seconds, now it's gotten out to 17, so he might be listening to Mitch and keeping it so Hayden doesn't get any confidence, because at some point Hayden will realize, okay, I'm too far down, but if he sees that he's closing in on these guys as well as the leader, then yeah, he's going to
Oh no, and just as we say that, Masterpool tips over, and for the third time, Mark Finnis is in the lead. Hymas is there with him as well.
Mark is like, well, if you guys want me to win, I'll take it, all right. But man, Tom Vial first and Ty Masterpool.
Oh no, Finnis, a wild ride, he's down.
Okay, I ain't saying nothing else.
Multiple announcers curses here. Hey, Finnis did his job. I know he's going to want the result, as now Hymas goes after Masterpool, but Finnis just showed he's got the goods. Now a side-by-side battle for the lead.
Great, great ride. Chance was just there hanging in. They start pulling away, and then Ty, and then Mark. So all that does is bring Hayden Deegan back into this thing. So it's opening up the light. Now let's see if Chance picked up on those lines, because as I said, the first moto, like, he was riding good. His line selections was really allowing these guys in. So maybe they went back, watched some videos, talked to his teammate. Let's see if he can recover back. Use it to win this race if you can.
At the moment, Masterpool would still have the weekend's overall, but a lot could change as we head to the second half of this race. Masterpool, he regrouped quickly right back to Hymas.
Yeah, Ty's one of those riders that is super gritty, and I think the way his whole upbringing and being on this team, he's got to be that way to be able to switch over after riding 450 and then on a Tuesday ended up on this Mitch Payton Pro Circuit. So you know Ty wants his victory, Katie.
He absolutely does, but he's going to have to get around Chance, which the feedback between Motos to Chance was, hey, you got to make some moves, and that's scary to do when you're leading. I'm sure, Stu, you know what that's like when you're kind of in this position. You're learning as you're going. These line choices are everywhere. You want to stick to what you're doing, but that's what got him caught in that rut in the corner 4 separate times. The team told him he has to be aggressive and he has to change some different lines.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for Chance, it's more the confidence of being able to make that change. As I said, it's hard when you're out front and you're like, why should I change? I'm leading. But once it happens and you see the guys pass you and then they get passed again, I think that's where Honda's telling them, like, look, kid, you got to change. And it looks like he has so far as he's starting to pull away.
And Hymas, has he got it right now as we go into this halfway point? Monster Energy available now at BFS Foods. Second half of the race, so many different ways that this could go. Let's send it back to Jason Thomas.
Well, just what, you're seeing Mark Finnis pull off there, but so many of these crashes, I think it's because of the way the track is changing each and every lap. It's gone from super muddy this morning, tacking up, and now the bases of the ruts are getting incredibly hard. And the reason these guys are getting caught out is they want to trust the dirt, right? To go fast, you have to trust that front tire, but they'll get into an icy section. When I say icy, it's rock hard with no real traction. The front end steps away from them without any real warning, and all of a sudden they're on the ground. So it's something to watch for. They really don't have any choice, but look for those shiny sections of the racetrack. That's where there's really no traction, and those are the trouble spots.
Yeah, and they're definitely struggling because, one, they went with that paddle tire, and so it's not going to work on the hard pack. And even though these guys are losing the front end, because they don't have any grip on the rear, it's pushing on the front, so it's making those guys, they're losing the front, but it's coming from the rear end. And I think that's that tire choice that maybe you feel like they should have went more on the hard pack, and now it's catching them out.
Deegan has cleared Shimoda. He's up to 4th. That would still only be 3rd overall right now. He'd be sitting on 1-4 scores, but he doesn't have to look far to see the next rider to get, and it would be Tom Vial on the 16.
Yeah, this is a huge battle. I know it's not for the win, but just momentum-wise, as Tom was leading this race, but we know what happened last weekend, that first moto. Tom needs to regroup, and even if it's not for the win, it needs to be able to somewhat say, hey, Deegan, like, this ain't going to happen, so he needs to continue to fight, because Hayden's closed the gap, and the last thing Tom wants to do is just allow Hayden to ride around him.
Oh, yeah, Deegan looking to put his stamp on the proceedings in 250 Pro Motocross. 2 comeback rides would do it. Tripling uphill.
Yeah, hopefully Tom realizes Hayden's so close. Otherwise, he opened that inside. Hayden's going to kick that door in.
He's going for it right now, James.
There you go. Get down. But this outside's been working. They got better momentum. And as you can see, if you can stay on the same level as the guy next to him, the outside end up playing out just because you turn around and you go up that hill. So the momentum kept Tom ahead. But now he knows Hayden's there, and I don't want to see nothing that happened last weekend. I don't want to see Hayden go down that inside, how he left the door open last weekend after it was like, okay, made that mistake. Tom knows he's here. He's got to keep that door closed.
Yes, Deegan made the move on him, and Vial said, I forgot that the inside line was there, and I didn't cover it.
Yeah, Hayden was like, I didn't forget. I got you.
I know. Hey, that triple near the finish line, Deegan's the only one doing it right now. What makes that so difficult, and why is he able to do it?
I think these other guys are jumping it, but sometimes if they get caught out and they don't get a run, it's a blind jump. And although it's a triple, it's kind of a flat little roller. So if you don't get it right, we saw how guys are hitting. Looks like their hands are getting blown off.
Yes.
So more about the blindness of the jump and not having a better, be able to gauge how far it is.
And the battle for the lead, that's in the bottom box. Masterpool going back after Hymas. Masterpool on the green, Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki. Hymas in red on the Honda.
Yeah, nice ride. It looks like Chance has definitely made some changes. Maybe listen to Lars over at Honda, picking it up. His line selection looks better. I was looking at once Hayden got in his 2nd or 4th, he was only about 12 seconds back or 11 seconds back, and as gaps kind of stabilized. So hopefully they can continue it up and see if they can hold off for this race.
Vial holding Deegan at bay for the moment. He's a little bit further up, actually, than he was a lap ago.
It looked like Hayden made a couple of mistakes, and That's been the theme all day long. When Hayden makes a mistake or guys making mistakes, they get pulled away from it. And now it's allowing Joe Shimoda to come back in and close in on Hayden. So as quickly as he was the man on the move, he lost that time to Tom, and it's just still about 12 seconds back from the leader.
So one of the other stories of this moto was Mark Finnis, multiple lead changes for the Club MX Muck-Off FXR Yamaha team. And this is when his engine let go after he fell while leading. Obviously, he's not happy about that. There's Katie with an update.
Yeah, standing by here in the pits, and the bike was just brought in. Unfortunately for the 705, Mark Finnis, though the team said a great ride, he was doing all that he needed to do. Honestly, it was a start for him, and then he had the speed, but it's a broken radiator for this bike. Asking how Mark's doing, well, they said he's a bit emotional. One can understand that with how good he was running out there.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Katie. I wonder if that happened with the fall that he had in that corner that these two just negotiated, Hymas and Masterpool. And this is huge in so many ways. The Moto, yeah, it is that crash I've heard, broke it. This is a battle for the Moto win, but Masterpool needs every point in this Moto he can get to try to hold Deegan and Hymas off for the overall win today.
Yeah, I know these guys aren't thinking about this at the moment, but the last thing they want to do is get caught up in a battle, because that's only going to allow Hayden to come back in the game. So they're battling each other, but they do not want to try to slow their plays down. Then it's going to bring Tom in, and they're going to have a whole slew of problems if Hayden gets back in this deal.
It's funny, in the 450 class you talked about sometimes guys can tow each other, and then other times some of the battles slow each other down.
Yeah, I mean, if they start getting in there, as Chance starts looking back, as he, I mean, it's like basically having a lap rider in front of you. You know, you don't get to run those same lines, and if they start battling each other, it just slows them down, and we know what happens. Like a shark in the water, Hayden Deegan senses that blood, he's going to attack, and for these guys, it's just time on the racetrack. Being the age, they don't know that. Where the 450 class, they're a little bit more seasoned vets, so they try not to.
You just saw the lap times flash on the screen. A little bit quicker was Masterpool than the leader, Hymas. Deegan continuing to apply pressure on Vial.
Yeah, he's closed back in on Tom. Tom looked like he definitely picked up the pace from before Hayden catch him. He was the fastest person on the racetrack that last lap.
Everybody in the 214s last time around. So they're all within a second, this top four. Actually going back to Shimoda in fifth, all in the same lap time.
Yeah, Hayden got a little off balance. Looks like Tom got that triple.
He did. Great racing here. High Point Raceway Super Motocross World Championship, round 21, fourth Pro Motocross race of the year. Tom Vial is third. He's at the top of the screen. Hayden Deegan trying to run him down. Vial, if he fancies himself as a title contender, and you know he does, he cannot let Deegan catch him. He can't roll over.
Yeah, this is super important for Tom. I love the fight, and we know, I mean, he wants to win this championship, and every point matters, but at this point of the season, yeah, he's lost some points, but it's a battle of the mental at this side. Tom's been fast all year long, but you hear it in Hayden's voice, the way he rides. He rides with confidence, and he has that confidence because he's able to catch these guys and pass them at any moment, and Tom, it's going to be important for him to keep them from letting that happen. Otherwise, Hayden's going to be a...
Yeah, and he is right there.
Yep.
Deegan on the attack.
And you hear Deegan revving up the bike. He's trying to make Tom nervous. As Tom goes to the outside.
Inside for Deegan. No, not quite enough. Right, had a little hook in it. Slowed Deegan up. Going to try again on the outside.
Yeah, you can tell Hayden's trying to be aggressive because I think he has to...
Oh! And feet kicked off the pegs for Vial, and that allows Deegan by.
Yeah, the reason that happened because Tom was trying to get out of that rut. He wanted to get out of the rut so he can stop Hayden. But you can see Hayden had that momentum, but he was trying to get, and he got he got punched in the stomach by the handlebars at that moment. That was tough.
And with that pass, I believe Deegan will now be in possession of the overall win with 1-3 scores. Do you think he cares about that, or does he want to 1-1 it from the back both times?
Well, at this point, if he's not able to close the gap, as you hear Tom Vial wrapping up his motorcycle for that lap rider to get out the way, yeah, I mean, obviously he wants the overall victory, but if he doesn't able to close the gap down on these guys, then he'll start thinking about it. Right now, Hayden just feels like I was down this far, I'm going to run these guys down anyway. But Chance Hymas and Ty, they haven't slowed each other down. And although Deegan's had a great pace, they haven't been able to catch him. So great job by these two to keep the gap out.
So here's what's on the line here, James. If Hymas wins the moto, that actually gives Deegan the overall win. If Masterpool can repass Hymas, then he retakes the overall victory from Deegan. He would have the 2-1. So Masterpool's got to go to the limit now. This could be his chance to get the overall win.
Yeah.
Send it down to JT. What are you seeing with the mechanics?
Well, just like you, the Monster Energy Pro Circuit mechanics are down here doing math, and they just relayed that exact message to Ty Masterpool. You need Hymas for the overall, so we'll see if he kicks it into a high gear here soon.
Well, they are, JT. Look at the lap times. They're going 2:13 now. 2 laps ago, they were in the 2:14s. Hymas just ran a 2:12 and then another 2:13. So they are, you're in the stretch run, James. They're stepping it up.
Yeah, I mean, you only got about 4.5 minutes left. And the track's getting faster and faster, so they're going to continue to go fast. But at this point, yeah, Ty isn't giving up. I actually like what I see from Chance because you can tell that he's definitely changed some things up. He switched the lines up, but the rebound after that first moto is good for the kid. And if he can hold on, and they got a good gap. They haven't allowed Hayden to pull in close to him. So for them, Ty's trying to close back in.
Oh, yeah. That's them right there. That's not lap traffic. Top of the screen. That's the battle for the lead. Then you've got Shimoda and Vial fighting in the bottom box with Deegan up ahead. Oh, Ty Masterpool's back to the rear wheel.
Yeah, let's see what happens if he tries to drop down the inside. Chance is going to leave that door open. Ty's going to...
Oh, Hymas feet out the pegs. Almost down. Masterpool retakes the lead in the moto. And this would give him the overall win for the first time in his career.
Wow, that was a great save by Chance. He started losing the front end, and as I mentioned earlier, that comes from the rear tire. I mean, not having traction on the rear, they were pushing, but that pressure came from Ty Masterpool running down that inside, made Chance have to focus on him, and he almost lost the whole thing, and now he's got a gap.
Well, he has responded. JT saw the pit board. I think Masterpool said, all right, let's go.
And we got to remember, Ty went down. He was leading this race earlier, and he went down. So what a recovery ride for him.
Putting in the work at the family's ranch in Texas. This is a tragic story for this group. It was actually the older brother, Jesse, who was considered a superstar of the family. He was there stride for stride as an amateur with greats like Adam Cianciarulo and Cooper Webb. And he died in a crash at an amateur race about 10 years ago. And obviously at that point, the family had a big decision to make. Do they pursue this not just with Ty? His brother Jake is also out here as a privateer in the 450 class. But they said this is what the boys love to do. So they're letting Ty do it, and he is doing it now at the highest level. He has been through the battles, injuries, had a good ride with Star Racing, didn't stay on with that team. He's been privateer for a while. Picked up at the 11th hour this pro circuit ride as a fill-in, and he might get his first ever professional race win right now.
Man, absolutely, Jason, that was well said right there. And when you think about Ty, just the tragedy they have within the family, you got to think also with the injuries and then losing that ride and just everything else, being a privateer. So, kids, when you look at heroes, these are the true heroes right here. Ty Masterpool, if he can hold this thing off, I mean, it just shows the determination of never giving up. Any opportunity you get, make the best of it. And if somehow Ty can hold this off and not only win this race, get the overall victory, but also get Mitch's 300th win, I mean, the story writes itself.
Yes, this team, if they win today, the 300th win would be the most. It's already the most ever, but that'd be historic. And Ty always runs the same patch on the back of his pants for Jesse, always doing it for his brother. Remember, years ago, he got a whole shot at Redbud, pointed up to the sky, and what a journey. You're right, with the injuries and the privateer situation, could have easily given up on this.
Yeah.
And no one would have blamed him for it.
No, absolutely. So you have the story, the tragedy within the family, but then you have everything else on top of it. So that's what I mean. It's like the determination of this kid. So yeah, I'm cheering for him in here. I would love to see this happen.
He has checked out 4 seconds plus over Hymas now. The only thing to try to tilt this, if Deegan could somehow launch another charge. Here's the motosport.com whole shot replay. Masterpool almost lost it right there.
Mitch figured out the power. And yeah. Looks like, so that was Hayden Deegan that got into those guys that ended up getting into his teammate, I believe. Oh, excuse me. No, it was Romano.
And Bennett crashing. And then, muck off FXR Club MX Yamahas up front. They were 1, 2, 3 at one point. So we are down to 2 laps to go the next time around. And Ty Masterpool, well, it took him 3 laps, or 3 races, sorry, to adjust to the 250 and this bike.
Yeah, and not to even mention that, these guys, all these other guys have been on this team, on the same bike. Not only that, even if you switch teams, it's one thing. He switched like bikes as far as from a 250, a 450 to a 250, and that's super hard to do. And he mentioned that. So for him to show up out here just shows how much talent he got. But I'm just impressed and a huge fan of just what this kid continues to do and fight for. You can tell he's getting a little nervous right now.
Yeah.
And he's taking a couple looks behind, but right now he's got about 4 seconds over Chance, and see if he can hold this thing off.
And the Masterpool parents, Tara, the mom, very accomplished in snowboarding, and then dad, Jerry, just a world-renowned coach in alpine racing, and they really focus on the form, the technique, the biomechanics of it. They've got some very advanced training techniques they brought over from other sports, and we are seeing all that development pay off right now.
Yeah, the difficult part for Ty is you see how easy this track is to come up and bite people.
Yes.
So it ain't over until it's over, and mistakes are really easy to happen. So for Ty, just keep looking forward. Just keep looking forward, and he's leading that Monster Energy Pro circuit. He's the guy of the team. Not sure what's going on with Levi. He was up there, but nice to see Ty up front.
And is that Kitchen down?
Oh, yeah, that's Levi.
Oh, it has come undone for Levi in a title bid here. He was 8th and might be further back now.
A tough 2 weekends for Levi, coming off of how strong he was in Paula.
There's Mitch Payton, the owner of this Pro Circuit team, obviously bummed about the crash for Kitchen. But could the Cinderella story finish the right way with the win for Ty Masterpool and the historic 300th victory for this squad? That's the most ever already, but 300's a big number. And they're within 2 laps of it. Check back in on Deegan. He is catching Hymas. Is there enough time? That's a lap rider in front of him, but he's within 5 seconds with 2 to go, and he's still running 2:13s.
Yeah, he's running a good one, and the mechanic just probably told him that he needs that pass. He needs to pass Chance Hymas to get an overall victory.
I think it might be a tie. There's the gap. I'm looking at the map right now. I believe it would still be a tie, and tiebreaker would go to Masterpool with the second moto win. But I don't know. Again, I'm not sure Deegan's doing it for the overall. I think he just wants to show these guys.
Yeah, you're right about that. Math wasn't my strongest again, like a lot of other subjects in there. But yeah, I think Hayden at this point, he probably wants to pass Chance again because of what happened at first moto. So for him, strong ride still by Hayden.
Oh, yeah.
It come up, being that far down after that crash. And I know for the biggest thing, he needed to get around Tom, which he did, and also Chance Hymas is in second in the points. So this is also going towards the championship. So Hayden needs to beat him, and that's probably why he's letting it all hang out more for the points, more than even overall.
That's right. It would be a 4-point swing for the championship if Deegan can make this pass. He's currently up 28 on Vial. If it ended like this, he could push it to 32 points if he makes this pass. And Deegan, I mean, this kid is indefatigable. He just never stops. And Hymas is going to have to fight.
Yeah, Chance has been pretty good. Looks like he cleaned up this section earlier than he did in that first moto. Gets through that pretty good. And there's Brian.
Hayden's dad.
Hayden's dad cheering his son on.
Got that uphill triple.
Chance responded, though.
Yeah.
He was coming, and even though Hayden's still closing in, Chance definitely responded. I mean, he's got another lap to hold him off.
Well, I want to know the mindset of those guys, Masterpool, Hymas, guys that he caught in the first moto. That had to fire them up, right?
Well, I think with Ty, I mean, he's in his own little zone. So I think for him, he's just more focused on, yeah, I'm sure it fired him up, but probably not as much as it did like Chance Hymas or even, wait, is that Chance Hymas right behind Ty?
Deegan just ran a 2:10 lap time. That is by far the fastest of the moto. What is happening now on the last lap? Hymas and Deegan are there.
Yeah, I saw Ty.
Masterpool 2:16. That's not going to get it done that last lap.
Yeah, as I said, he's probably getting nervous and
Oh no!
yeah, making a few mistakes. And we see how much time these guys can gain or lose on the track like this. And Ty, come on, buddy, you got to stay focused. The race is, you're dictating the race. There ain't nobody in front of you, so keep it going.
Deegan has made up 6 seconds on Masterpool on the next to last lap. Hymas is in position to repass him. If he does, Deegan actually wins the overall.
Wow, this is going to be tough because if Ty is holding up Chance, it's going to allow Hayden to get on. So it might allow Hayden to have an opportunity to win this race as he tries to go up the inside. See if he does this scrub.
Oh, scrub over that big quad. Can he make the move? Hymas on the inside.
What are you going to do, Ty? Nice.
Hymas fights him off.
Yeah.
Little contact.
There you go. Now watch this. Hayden's going all out, and this is the best thing for Ty because these guys battling. See,
Deegan gets Hymas. He has Masterpool in his sights.
when you're talking about Hayden being focused in on the win, he could have easily played around with Chance, but he didn't because he knew I got to go after Ty, and he has an opportunity.
He does. He's down the inside. Gonna send it. Oh, Masterpool is great around the outside. Only 2 turns left now.
Yeah, but this race ain't over because Hayden's going to let off the brakes on this. Wait, Ty's bike is smoking.
Uh-oh, that could be the problem. He's on the downhill.
Oh, that was a lap.
Okay, lap rider into the final 2 turns. Deegan, if he can get a drive up this hill, he squares to the inside. Checkered flag's in sight. Last turn. Masterpool does it. There's Mitch Payton. Can't even believe it.